The problem with male voice choirs these days is that they're generally frequented by an older generation.
For some time we've been trying to get new recruits, new choristers.
I know a lot of these choirs struggle with recruiting younger members.
But those really well-established male voice choirs, there doesn't seem to be any new blood coming through.
For young people to instill this enthusiasm of singing is really important.
The difficulty we have is that people are reluctant to make that first step.
And it's really important to preserve this way of Welsh life for the benefit of future generations.
I'm Sophie Evans and I'm a singer/actress. Been on the West End and I do concerts all year round, and I've had a dabble in the acting world as well.
My name is Lloyd Clack and I'm an actor and writer. I've been interested in music since my teens, since as long as I remember really.
Music's definitely always been the centre point of my life since I was about 3 years old. It's all I ever really remember loving to do. My mother was a big influence on me growing up. She would sing to me all the time, and I think I just followed suit.
Male voice choirs exist everywhere, not just in Wales. It's an instinct, a coming together, a Cymanthogani. The Welsh male voice choirs, I think, sprung from our working heritage.
Obviously there's lots of choirs all over the world, but I think Welsh male voice choirs have the edge. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that Welsh people, they say, because we're surrounded by hills, we have the kind of lilt in our voice that aids us to be able to sing better than some other people. And I think male voice choirs really show off that, because it's a group of a lot of people who can all sing to a pretty high standard and sound beautiful.
I've done quite a lot of engagements and things with male voice choirs, so I've worked with them quite often. And I have noticed that they're generally older people. It's very much a social thing. A lot of great friendships. To a lot of the people in male voice choirs, it's essentially the core of their lives. It's the thing that gives them the greatest pleasure.
I've worked with Trilogy male voice choir, Penderys, Blaenavon male voice choir, and also choirs such as like Only Men Aloud, who kind of bring the other side of it. They bring the kind of glitz to the whole thing, and I think that's the key with Only Men Aloud. They kind of are showing a younger generation that it's kind of cool to sing and to perform, and it's something to be proud of if you can do it.
If they want to bring in younger people, I think that's an enormous problem.
I wouldn't say an all young male voice choir is what this is promoting. It's just bringing that kind of new flavour. So you've got the whole spectrum of men from Wales, with the tenor voice, the bass, which probably would be the older men.
I don't think it's at all identified with youth. And I don't think it ever has been. Even when they started out, they were for older men. That's the way they began.
Just bringing that kind of colour into not that they don't already have that lovely blend of voices, but I think a young voice does definitely bring another place in that kind of choir environment.
It is a fantastic social thing. But also, of course, it's beautiful music. I mean, listening to choral music, whether it be male voice choirs, female or mixed, is a beautiful thing. I mean, choral music's been with us since all the time, particularly from medieval times. And it was church music, and this is just an extension of that, really.
I think social media is taking over the world, and it's definitely the way to get news and information out there. YouTube is obviously a brilliant one because you can put the video on and they can see what the choirs do. But things like Facebook as well, where it can get so many people, because when someone views it, if they share it, then it's shown to another 1,000 people. So social media is definitely a positive way to get the choir message out there.
I don't see there's any suggestion male voice choirs will die out. It's just, do they want to change the nature of a male voice choir? And that's up to them. I personally am okay with them like they are. I quite like the idea of all these slightly aged men meeting together and cracking jokes and having a good time, and then getting together and making this beautiful, beautiful music together. It's quite a lovely sort of thing.
A great way to get into choirs at the moment is through Rhys Ifans' Only Boys Aloud scheme. I've done a lot of work with them, and obviously they bring a whole different sound because it's all young voices, all under, I think, the age of 18. but it's a stepping stone into that whole choir environment, and hopefully they'll continue that for a bit of time, and then when they're older and they maybe want to do it again, they think, yes, I've done that before, I remember how much I loved it, let's go on to the next kind of step, and the older generation of male voice choirs.
So yeah, we're making a promo video about getting the whole of the choir community together.
The problem with male voice choirs these days is that they're generally frequented by an older generation.
I know a lot of these choirs struggle with recruiting younger members.
For some time we've been trying to get new recruits, new choristers.
Those really well-established male voice choirs, there doesn't seem to be any new blood coming through.
It'll just bring all the choir community together. There's so much work going on to this, and any donations would be fantastic.
I want to join that heavenly choir. I want to join.